right, let's take a look at the rest of Week 6, man. Anyways.
This is NFL, not college. Get that voice out of here.
When do you think that's going to happen today?
Probably this segment.
What, college football
It's
review?
either this or next segment.
You don't know. I'm not telling you.
Or you're not going to do it.
Oh, I'm doing it. I just like to surprise you now so you
Fine.
don't know what's coming. I know you've already got the podcast set, so you don't even care anymore.
You say this every time, but I tend to put it in, actually.
Because you like it now.
Well, no. Don't get this misconstrued. I've been told people like it. And
yes, I told you it's the best segment
people
I
have
do.
told me that they
it's
like
ridiculous.
it. And I give the people what they want.
Yeah, okay. But
Despite
you don't like
creative differences sometimes.
I don't like it. I don't like it. It's true. I had this conversation with somebody over the weekend where I'm like, you got to give people what they want.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. I've never been opposed to that.
It was a long conversation with an ex-player who's in the media now.
Okay.
I won't name him.
Yeah.
And he who said didn't play for us. And he was like, I'm doing this podcast. It's going pretty well. And he's like, I don't know, like, to give more football, or we do these stories because I have these, these ex-players, and we get all these crazy stories, and it's the stuff that you guys can't get. And I go, let me tell you something, because I've been on the air for almost 30 years now. The reality is they want more football.
Yep.
They can tell you they want all these interviews and all these stories, and they do, but you got to feed the beast. You give the people what they want. It's the most popular sport in our country because people are interested in the football.
Yes, correct.
The more you give them of that, even if it bores you a little bit, the better off you're going to be.
Absolutely, 100%.
You got to give the people what they want.
Yes.
And the people want me to yell like some deranged Southerner who calls into Paul's show. Whenever the day comes that we put cameras in here, you wait until you see what I look like when I do this.
Won't be in this room. It'll be in the other room.
I'm going to put on an outfit for it.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, you're not.
I'm thinking like the white tank top situation.
Stop. No, I think you have to go full water boy, coach. Overalls, no shirt underneath.
Bush beer hat.
Bush beer hat.
That's a pretty good hat, actually. I can find one of those. If they don't have them, they should make one.
You can't wear that.
Good.
That's
Bush beer.
It's free. It's free advertising.
There's something wrong with that?
There's someone Yingling sponsors our show.
Oh, right.
Come on.
All right. Let me think of something else.
If Yingling sends you a trucker, I think that'd be actually a better bit.
Let's go. Hurry up, guys. Do they want to be associated with me yelling like that?
Maybe not.
Question.
That's actually, you don't know that.
All right. Let's go through the NFL from yesterday. In London, Ravens beat the Titans 24-16. Their offense remains interestingly weird again.
Yes.
But they won.
Correct.
So, not going to complain. They've had 2 preposterous losses. Otherwise, they'd be 6-0.
I know. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they should have never lost that Pittsburgh game. They just blew it. And the Colts game, they gave away. They should have bare minimum be 5-1, really.
Yes, absolutely.
But so, I'll probably say the same thing about them, with the exception of, Lamar is such a high-level quarterback. I would say the same thing they would say about us. Like, if they are going to really be a contender, or even a playoff team for that matter, even at 4-2, even a playoff team, they're going to have to be a lot better than this. But there's probably room to grow. I mean, because last week we were off because after the Thursday game, I watched the whole Pittsburgh Ravens game, and I couldn't believe they lost by the end of it. And then because yesterday I was just up in the booth, I had on the Ravens game up on the booth, and I saw most of it. And their offense just is not functioning very high right now. I don't want to hear the excuse of he doesn't have people. He does.
Yeah, he's got plenty to throw to now.
Plenty.
I don't
There's
know.
Plenty of options here.
I don't know what the breakdown is with them. All the pieces are there. Are they going to blame the coordinator again?
No. Well, you can't do that now. You guys ran the other guy out of town. When you do that, you got to give the guy a chance. We're in this right now. We ran our guy out. We got this other guy who's even way more valued and basically is, don't say anything bad about him.
Right.
That's what's going on here. Don't you dare say anything bad about EB. I don't want to hear it. And up there, you could say whatever you want about Monken if you really want to. However, you guys were so screaming and yelling about modernizing your offense, you got to give them more than 6 games before you say anything. But their offense isn't very good.
Who was it last year they were criticizing? I'm trying to remember who their old offense.
Greg Roman.
Yes, Roman.
They hated him. Hated him.
Greg Roman was scorched earth with Ravens
they
fans last year. Yeah.
Let me see where the Ravens are in total offense here. Where are they on the list? Why can't I find them?
I have no idea.
This is really weird. I just can't
What are they
see.
not
They're
on?
they're close to the top 10.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They're 11 at 339 yards per game, but it's weird when you watch them. It's their passing game. 194 per game. That's the problem.
Yep.
They were told that they were going to throw the ball a lot more, and they're not able to do it at a high clip.
Got it.
So that's all it is. So the crab cakers are just upset again.
The crab cakers.
All right. Vikings beat the Bears in a nothing burger game. Justin Fields got hurt.
Yep.
Sounds like he might miss a little time too. That's not good. Kirk had a nothing burger game, which was a bit of a surprise, albeit though Justin Jefferson was out. And the reporting is if the Vikings don't turn their season around, he's going to just shelve himself for the rest of the year, or the team will.
The team. That's what the report was. And, I mean, who's really shocked about that anymore? You
know, they can't say that really publicly. I'm surprised that
it was a report, though, so they can...
It's a report, but, like, whoever told the reporter that, because it's probably true and makes a lot of sense, needs to shut the you-know-what up, because that's called tanking, buddy.
Right,
You're not supposed to do things like that.
Yeah.
It is a wide receiver with a hamstring injury, and it's one that's up for a massive contract, so I get it.
Yes.
And they're going to protect him. I get it. That's if they go sideways here. We'll see. And because it's a hamstring injury, there's no guarantee he'd come back in a month anyway.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Did you happen to hear what happened in pregame with Kirk and the Vikings?
Creed.
It's full circle
now. They are now playing Creed.
Because we knew he was a Creed fan, and we used to make fun of it, and now the Rangers, all of a sudden, best Creed fans in the world because they're winning in the MLB postseason. Kirk now thinks that Creed is cool, and now they're playing Creed again. So, yeah, that was their pregame ritual.
Let's see. So here we are with the no Justin Jefferson next 3. 49ers at home, Monday Night Football.
Probably going to lose that anyways.
Probably.
Yeah.
At Packers. See, I don't know much about that.
Toss up, in my opinion.
Similar to this.
Yeah.
Could go either way.
Toss up.
Packers are probably a little better, especially on defense, than the Bears are, but not that much better, really. Then they go at Atlanta. So let's see where they are after that. They could lose all 3 of those.
They could.
They're going to lose next week.
Yeah.
The Niners won't lose 2 in a row.
They could win 2 of 3 pretty easily, though.
They could win 2 of 3. They could win 2 of 3, or they could lose all 3.
Yeah.
And if their offense is going to be like this without Jefferson, then they probably will lose all 3.
Yeah.
2 of them are on the road. Bengals are not right, but they won.
Yeah, you and I both called a loss there, but they did.
Well, I was like back and forth on it. I'm like, I think by the end of it, I said, I'll trust the Bengals only because they're at home.
Yeah.
But like, I wouldn't be surprised. And so they win, but Burrow doesn't look right.
Yep.
It just doesn't look right. He must still be hurt. It just doesn't look right.
I meant to send this to you. Willie Colon was on, I think it might have been Cowherd or one of the other Fox shows, and he went off on Deshaun because of what Burrow's doing, of just saying...
Deshaun has a shoulder injury, though.
He was saying, though...
He might not be able to throw the ball.
He was saying, though, you were clear, and it's been 3 weeks since you were cleared. He was basically saying, though, I see Joe Burrow dragging his leg up and down the field, trying to will his team. And this is what
this is a little like Chase Young, where last year we're like, you've been cleared. Why aren't you playing?
And what Cologne was basically saying, though, is he goes, this is the North, man. This is what every team does. You need to kind of sack up because this team did everything.
Roethlisberger played with everything.
And he was going,
he would tear knee ligaments and play with it. And then afterwards you'd find out and you're like, you're a psycho.
And he was going, this ain't new to this division. Yeah. This team did everything they can, put their neck out for you, and you're now out for 3 weeks. He's like, I don't want to hear it with you, man. You should be putting your ass out on the line. Look at what Burrow's doing. Look at what Lamar has done through injuries over the years. And he was going, look at the Steelers.
Except for that one time that he had to poop.
I mean, he was still in the game. He was still in the game, though. He just came back. But I thought it was really interesting that he was going, this division does this, man. You need to get out there.
All right.
He was going, look at what Burrow's doing. I was actually like, you know what? He's right. He's actually right on that one.
It is weird. It is a throwing shoulder. So there's part of me that goes like, well, he probably can't throw the ball that effectively. So, what do you want him to do then?
Willie jokingly was like, I don't know what you got to do. You need to take whiskey, a little bit of Coke. Like, he was literally saying that out loud. Was like, whatever injection they give you, man. Like, he was full on saying you're not doing enough to stay out there. And they won, and this was before the game was played for the Browns purposes. But I'm just saying when he was giving Burrow as much credit for going out there and trying to
Burrow's
keep it
tough,
going.
man.
So that's what he was getting at. He was like,
he's tough.
Why are you not trying everything you can?
He's tough. Herbert's tough.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah. Lamar's been tough.
Yeah, so
a lot of quarterbacks. I mean, like Tua tried to play with those crazy injuries last year.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, welcome to the NFL. You got to play with this stuff.
Yeah.
As for the Bengals, they remind me a little of the Eagles, where it's like, I know they're going to be there in the end.
Yeah.
I already know it.
Right.
It's just a matter of what seed are they going to be. Because, and this is like the regret will be with the Eagles and the Bengals, you didn't beat them enough early when you had them.
Yeah, right.
Because they're a wounded animal. Like, they can't seem to score. And I don't know what it is. I don't know what's up, but something's off on it. But they won, and they beat a good team doing it yesterday.
Yep.
The Browns did win. That's the upset of the day to me with Deshaun not playing. That said, I buy the Browns defense as a top 5 caliber type defense. They are really good. McCaffrey got hurt. Shocker. At some point it'll happen. Debo got hurt. We'll have to see with that. Niners were short week, come across the country, off the blowout, Dallas. A little bit of a letdown's not that much of a surprise.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been dropping bombs.
A little bit of a letdown. This was on the road. Yeah. It's a road game. Their defense is real. Cleveland's defense is real this year.
I know Myles Garrett's an all-pro, but I don't think we're talking about him enough is just how impactful. He's getting better and better. Like, we need to put him in the same category as the Bosa's. Like,
he's there.
I'm just saying, he's not because I think it's because he's on the Browns.
Yeah.
I don't think he's talked about in that same superstar
He's gotten the contracts he's gotten because he's there.
For sure. But I just think from a national level, he doesn't get talked about enough, and I was watching that game
not
alongside.
Enough big games.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's
really the problem.
That's what it is.
You got to be in big games.
Yeah, and so now,
I don't think people talk enough about Max Crosby. He's ridiculous.
Agreed.
But they're not in enough big games.
Crosby's a little actually crazy too. So I think people calm down around him. But I think Garrett, off of what I saw yesterday, like, he's just getting better and better. PJ
Walker, 192, 2 picks. Jerome Ford, no Chubb, 17 for 84. I mean, these numbers read like they should have lost, but the Niners just couldn't score that much. And, I think, so no undefeated teams left because the Eagles lost too. So it's early this year that we got rid of all the undefeated teams. I'm not surprised the Niners had a little bit of a letdown. I think I even said on Friday, I go, I'll pick them to win, especially with Deshaun out, but I bet it's closer than you think.
Yep.
And because I buy Cleveland's defense. I totally buy. Cleveland and the Jets are the defenses I buy as like they're actually really, really, really good.
Yeah. It also tells you how good Cleveland's defense is because I think the thing Purdy does best, and it's because he's a Shanahan guy, is he's not going to risk it. He went for 12 for 27. That tells me he was not taking risks, and he only had 125 yards. It tells me that that was Shanahan going, do not force anything against this defense. And that's exactly what happened. They ended up not only scoring 17.
The Dolphins are the sure thing on offense this year.
They're a machine.
They're a machine.
Like the literal machine.
They're a literal machine. They got down early, and then, they're the Chiefs.
Yep.
Like, this is what the Chiefs used to do. They get down 14-0, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Yep.
It's like erased, in a second. And they were leading by halftime and then ran away from them. They lose people, doesn't matter. Achane's out. Mostert 17, 115, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill has ridiculous numbers again. Tua's numbers are great again. Like, you want to get somebody off of a tree, that's the tree. This Shanahan, like, because this guy's doing it. Like,
all of them.
Granted, they have really good talent, but I mean, it's ridiculous. They're a machine. They're the most inventive offense outside of Shanahan right now. And they're the ones that can beat the brakes off you. And they're scary.
Yeah,
actually, they're scary. This is going to be a heck of a game with them for Philadelphia this week. They're scary.
Yeah, because I think that's what we've been waiting for too with the Dolphins too. Is like, let's just give them a better measuring stick game, because like they're not going to get that against the Panthers. We all knew the Panthers weren't going to really threaten them, but
no,
I mean, I'm interested to see how do they stack up to a tough-nosed team like Philadelphia.
Well, they went up to Buffalo and lost. Yep. They actually got run off the field.
Right.
So this is their second opportunity to show everybody. And the Eagles, they currently can't score the way the Bills can, and defensively aren't that good.
Yep.
I mean, I was saying this a couple of weeks ago. I'm like, we got a shot at these guys. Their secondary's messed up. Their secondary's messed up, and they're about to play them.
Yep.
They better get a pass rusher. They're going to get run off the field by these guys.
Mm-hmm.
Jaguars beat the Colts 37-20. That's not a surprise.
Yeah.
The Jaguars have finally, I think, kind of found themselves a little bit now. They're the same thing. Like, they started slow, but in that division, unless the Texans are really better than we thought.
Yeah.
No one's really going to challenge them. So they're the chalk division, in my opinion, and they're going to end up winning it with probably 11 or 12 wins.
Lawrence tweaked, I think, his knee yesterday. They said that's not serious. He should be good to go.
Yeah.
So that was, the storyline coming out there. Because if he goes down, then it's all bets are off for that division. But he should be okay.
C.J. Stroud again puts up another one where he might be the rookie of the year. D'Amico Ryans is going to be in coach of the year.
Yep.
Texans are 3-3. They beat the Saints. This is not a surprise. Carr had a big day, actually. They just couldn't score any points. They're weird. They can't score points.
I don't trust that
They can't score
offense.
points.
Yeah, I told you. I told you that when we.
I don't know how they can't score points. They got enough weapons to do it.
I know. Like someone who has Olave and Kamara on their fantasy team.
Yeah,
It's been very frustrating. But I told you this last week. I don't trust them. I know they put up a bunch of points on the Patriots, but the Patriots are the ones that are wonky. I was not buying their offense because every time they've gone up against someone decent, it's like less than 2 touchdowns, and that's exactly what happened yesterday.
Raiders beat the Patriots 21-17 in the car wreck game of the week.
We called this one too.
Oh yeah, I was
We're
like,
all
there.
over it.
Oh yeah, I'm like, I'm off. Like, I'm not the Bill Belichick needs to go train,
Yep.
but this team is messed up,
Yep.
and they're going to change a lot of things after this year. Whether that's Belichick or not, I don't know. If they trust him, they're going to revamp. They're going to demand to revamp the roster,
Right,
for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Mac Jones is bad.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
He had a couple of throws that were crazy. Did you see the Tony Romo thing though? Why were they calling that game?
Yeah, I don't
You
know.
Nance and Romo were on that game yesterday?
I only because I saw a highlight, but why? What did he say or what did he do?
So, okay, when the score was 19-16, okay, it was 19-10 Raiders. Patriots scored a touchdown, made it 19-16. They ran the kicking unit out there. Romo was trying to make the case that they should go for 2 here. Yeah. Said this on the air. I always wondered in this situation right here, you can go for 1 and obviously you make it where a field goal wins the game. But I've always thought if you go for 2 and you get it, Jim, then you could really be aggressive on defense. And if they score, you're still down 8 and you've got a chance with the ball. And Nance responded to him by going, I like this play right here because now you can win with a field goal.
That's a weird one.
I think people are losing their minds a little
Well, yeah,
bit.
look at the Falcons. Look what the Falcons did yesterday. For some reason,
Or
people are just overthinking things.
a few weeks ago when the Raiders down 8 with 4 minutes to go kick a field goal and now they're down 5
Right. Yeah.
on a 4th and 2 or something like that. And you're like, what are you, stupid?
Correct.
Like,
Yeah.
like you do realize you still have to score a touchdown, right?
Yeah, I don't.
The Patriots are a mess.
It's bad.
Really bad.
It's really bad.
This is one of those, like, not that I'm complaining because we're playing the Giants at 1-5, but man, because they're a few weeks away. And I always say this is about when you play them. Will they be different in 3 weeks when we play them? You don't know.
Right, you don't know.
If they're going the way they're going right now, chalk it up because they are right now one of the worst teams in football.
Right.
And it's bad.
Yep.
Bad. Rams beat the Cardinals, not a surprise.
Shocked.
Cardinals just don't have a very good roster. So, like I appreciate how much they fight, but they're going to have a hard time. And and I think this is a chalked up. It's going to be a bad year. And if they end up with the record it looks like they're going to end up with, well, then guess what? Guess what they're going to have?
Right. Your boy Caleb.
Uh-huh.
The other part here, though, I just want to chime in on the Rams. It just does tell you how good McVay is still. Like, not that there was any, doubt, but he's got them at 3-3. And I think everybody's going, that's about, probably fine, but it does show you that McVay still has the goods.
I'll get to the other afternoon games in a second because I want to mention the Bills first. That's a terrible performance.
That was awful. I mean,
it really did feel like that they totally took it for granted.
Yeah, absolutely.
It really felt that way. And I thought after the first game where I can't believe they lost to the Jets the way that after Rodgers got hurt, it looked like they flipped it back around immediately. By the time we got them, they were humming. And I went, the reports of their demise is greatly exaggerated. This is very telling.
Yeah.
And I know this is a week-to-week league, but that's ridiculous that they didn't beat that team bad. They literally can't score, and their defense is not very good. I don't know how you end up winning 14-9, and they're lucky as you know what that they even won.
Yep. I told you on Friday, Tyrod was going to be a spark. I didn't think it was going to be like that, but This
is on the Bills and their offense not being able to score. It makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't.
It doesn't make any sense.
Don't know.
The Jets beating the Eagles is a surprise that they won. But to me, I think I said this Friday ago, I trust their defense, and I bet this game's closer than people think it is. I just have a hard time buying that they'll score enough. Well, when you throw pick after pick and you throw one late like they did,
Yep.
Now, I will say this about the Jets. You idiots, why did you score a touchdown so fast?
Yep, right, exactly.
What are you? You're lucky.
Yeah, right.
You're lucky. You gave him the ball back with 1:45 on the clock for no reason whatsoever,
no
and
reason.
could have easily lost, but you didn't.
Yeah,
You
right.
won. They won. Good. I think the Eagles have been overdue for this. They could be 3-3 right now.
Yeah.
They could have
Absolutely.
lost the opener.
Sure.
They could have lost to us. They lost this one. They could be 3-3 right now. I was saying this early. I go, they're winning, but that record is not indicative of how good they actually are.
Yep.
Now they get the Dolphins. We could easily have them on a 2-game losing streak when we play them down here. So we'll see.
I don't like that, actually.
I don't either. But we could.
Right.
We could. And the last one's the Lions, who won at Tampa Bay, which I don't, love the creamsicles, guys.
Yeah, fantastic.
Love it.
That was good. That
Beautiful.
was a good uniform matchup period yesterday.
Good uniform weekend. The Giants were my favorite look of theirs. The Falcons look great in that old school
throwbacks
look.
were good,
The
yeah.
Buccaneers, I get it why you don't wear it all the time, because I think when you are bad, you do look stupid when you are bad. But on the one-off moments, it's an incredible look.
It's
I love
fantastic.
the creamsicles. Yeah, they're great. The Lions beat them 20-6. Did you see the Amon-Ra St. Brown touchdown where the receiver cleaned out that guy?
Yep.
Bite your kneecaps, baby. So I think this is a fair question right now. Are they the best team in the NFC?
At the moment, yes.
I think they're better than the Eagles right now.
I think at the moment,
I don't
yes.
know in the end whether
Yeah.
they will be, but I think right now they are. Are they actually better than the 49ers? I got a hard time buying that, but I don't think it's that far off. So, you know what? I am bought in. I believe it. These guys have proven it over and over, both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
Over and over, to the point now where I think it's a fair question to ask, are they the best team in the NFC right now? And I think there's an argument for it.
For sure, and I would say this too. Somebody took golf's stats for the last what would be the equivalent to a year right now.
Yeah.
And he would be right up there with all the top quarterbacks now because of how that offense has been humming since
He doesn't
the
make a
really
lot of
second
mistakes.
half last year. Yeah.
Montgomery got hurt,
Yeah.
and Jahmyr Gibbs is hurt. So that will be tricky if they don't have a running back that they can rely on, because their passing game is solid,
Right.
not great. Their defense is considerably better than it was. Like, considerably better than it was. It was a sieve the last couple of years. They've
Right.
really turned that around. I buy them now. I totally buy them. Green Bay is too up and down and probably not prolific enough to catch them. The Bears we know are bad, and Minnesota is going to slide the wrong way. They're going to be chalk winners of that division
Right.
now, clearly, short of a lot of injuries. They're going to be chalk winners of that division. And if they catch some luck here and get some more losses out of the Niners or the Eagles, they might be a 1 seed.
Maybe. Yeah.
Very
I could
possible.
definitely see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, we'll take a quick break. Very much the show. Always be at 6:30, the Sports Capital. Paul, is this disco? Paul, why are you playing the disco music?
You didn't tell me you were doing it this segment, so that's on you.
I'm telling you whenever I want to do it, Paul. I call you when I feel like it. I'm on my couch and I got bored watching the reruns of Jerry Springer, and then I had to put this on for you.
There's no reruns of Jerry Springer on anymore.
It is on my TV.
Definitely isn't.
It is on mine.
Maybe Maury.
Maury, yeah. All right,
You are
let's
not
see.
the father.
Let's see what we got today. College football review.
You were so off this weekend. I know you're only like half serious about your picks a lot of the time, but this is actually worse than normal, I think.
What do you mean?
ones-
I'm sure I picked Georgia to beat Vanderbilt.
Yeah, but
I'm sure I picked Michigan to beat Indiana.
It's the
I'm
ones-
sure I picked Ohio State to beat Purdue, and I'm sure I picked Florida State to beat Syracuse, and I'm sure I picked Penn State to beat UMass.
You did not have
And none of
though.
those were close.
It was the ones that you're more vocal about, which was
So like the games that matter?
Your
Like,
old-
what am I supposed to do?
your old-
I am all over the Nittany Lions
No.
against UMass.
It was the two that you were most loud about were your old Terpy Terps, which I told you when you get that confident, they lose it.
Yeah.
And then
I wanna talk
the
about
other
that.
one that you were loud about was the Notre Dame USC game. You completely were like, they don't have a defense. Like, USC is going to be fine. And they dominated them. So I'm just saying.
That was a joke,
I'm just
actually.
telling you. The two games you were very louder about, I should say.
For the
did
first
not go the
time,
way you wanted them
for the first time it looked like our guy Caleb had a little money taken out of his pocket.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
I don't remember one like this last year.
He went from like plus 250 to win the Heisman to like something crazy now. It's like plus 1,600 or something like that. Like,
well, we had, the guy in Washington. I'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, right.
But hold on, Paul. We're talking about my SEC. Hold on. Georgia beat Vanderbilt again. Talking about your stupid California football. Can't do nothing in South Bend.
God.
Waste of time. Georgia's the number one forever. Georgia forever, Paul. 37-20. Michigan's rolling. Beat Indiana 52-7. Ohio State's a big winner. They got the big one this weekend. Undefeated teams. Big noon is Ohio State and Penn State this weekend. So Ohio State won. That'll be a top 5 matchup. Florida State killed Syracuse. Not a surprise. Penn State played and out of conference also ran, which is ridiculous. 63-0 they won. Game of the day was Washington and Oregon. Did you watch it by any chance?
I did not. No.
Okay, so I saw the fourth quarter. I tuned in. One of the problems Caleb has is this guy, Michael Penix, is putting up crazy numbers. He's got an unbelievable story. He was recruited to Indiana, played there initially, tore his ACL, transferred, tore it again.
Oh my God.
Twice.
Yikes.
He's torn his ACL 3 times. Came back this year, and he's putting up crazy numbers. And I don't know if you saw the end, but it was crazy dimes on back-to-back plays to get like a 50-yard gain and then a touchdown pass, like perfect throws.
Yeah.
Washington ends up winning. And then my favorite part of this was the truth-telling by Kirk Herbstreit, who was there with Chris Fowler and says, because, they rush the field, it's just purple rain, they're going crazy. And he goes, and you could hear him almost realize he shouldn't be saying this, but he said, I really like doing these Thursday night football games, but you don't get anything like this unless you're on a Saturday. And I went, I knew it.
Yeah.
You don't like this.
You're out. You're out.
You don't like this.
If I'm Amazon too, I'm going, all right, well, we'll just go get someone else that actually wants to be here.
That wants to be here, that's excited about this.
And look, you I think you and I fall in the category of, because we grew up here, it's NFL. It is the Commanders for us.
Yes.
But if you grew up in one of those towns, it's that.
He went to Ohio State.
Right. And I never have this argument with people because it is literally how you were raised, of where you watched.
Yeah.
And both are right.
Both are right,
but
his love and passion is in that sport.
Exactly.
And
That's
I've been saying this forever.
Yeah.
They're not the same sport.
Correct. Exactly.
The rules are pretty similar.
Yeah.
But they're not.
Right.
And I agree, those atmospheres are really cool. But frankly, every NFL game matters. And that game matters for the people in Washington and the people in Oregon. And the people who call Paul are like, we don't care. Yeah. Wait till he plays Alabama and Saban kills him.
Right.
Penix. I'll call you something else, Penix. Watch out, Penix. So, Penix. Dirty McGurdy.
College game day was
I can't even say the FCC don't let me say your last name.
If college
Penix.
game day was still peak college game day, there'd be a lot of Penix jokes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a lot of them.
My Penix is huge.
So, listen, I appreciate, the atmospheres are cool.
Yeah.
When you get a bunch of hyped up, drunk 18-year-olds on these campuses who are all pumped up about something, that is what you get. It's Lollapalooza everywhere.
Yes, exactly. The energy
I
becomes crazy.
personally feel crazy about the NFL. I love the NFL. I don't dislike college football, but they are two different things. And that's why Kirk will never be one of us.
That's right. Yeah. No, that's exactly right.
In the eye-opening performance of the day, and I think Vegas really... When Notre Dame was favored, I probably should have known.
Yes, correct.
I probably should have known.
Hashtag analysis over there.
Yeah. They killed them.
Yeah.
They're the ones that threw Caleb Williams for a loop. Mm-hmm. And all the people who are he may or may not come out after this year. Oh, yes, he will.
Right.
Because let me tell you what happens. If you're the number one pick, you take it.
Yes.
Why in the world would you go back?
That's right. Correct. Exactly.
Are you stupid?
Right. And as I've always said,
I don't care who picks you, you go.
And as I've always said this now, too. For quarterbacks, it's completely different because you want to get the clock started to get the first contract. Yes. No matter which way you swing it, you want to start that as fast as possible.
Yeah. Guess what? The NIL money is not the number one overall pick money, and is also not all of the sponsorship things you can get by being the number one pick in the NFL.
That's right.
Period.
Exactly.
Period. If he does do that, if he actually follows through with a threat like that and like won't go to the Cardinals or whoever it is with the first round pick, I am going to think he is getting terrible advice and might be dumb.
Right.
You don't do that.
Yes. Right.
48-20 though. Well. Old Lincoln Riley.
He can force a trade.
Keep running away, running out of that SEC, Lincoln Riley.
He could force a trade though. I mean,
yeah, of course.
Yeah, like that's always actually.
But you go to the NFL.
Yeah, of course.
Saban wins again, barely.
Your boy.
He doesn't have a quarterback this year.
Right. That became apparent.
But he wins.
That became apparent fast, actually.
But still 6-1. Oh, you go count out Nicky.
Yes.
Never.
Yeah, with no quarterback, I will.
Never. Hold on, let me see what their schedule looks like. Tennessee this week at home. Oh, 3 to look at this one. 3 in a row at home. Arkansas, Tennessee, and the Brian Kellys. Oh, Nelly. We're going to find out if Alabama's a playoff team in the next 3 weeks because their last 3 all look extremely winnable.
Right.
They won. What are you going to do? They won.
Yep.
North Carolina's killing it this year. They have played a very tough schedule. They ran away from Miami. That Cristobal guy's looking dumber by the week.
I was going to say.
By the week.
That guy is now turning into like, how long you guys stuck with that guy? I mean, granted, it's Miami. They'll pay for that. But
the kneel down thing was stupid.
It's been a couple of these, though, where you're like, this guy doesn't seem to have it all buttoned up over there.
Mac Brown looks like he's 112, but he knows what he's doing down
Good
there.
for him, man. I'm glad he carved out something down there.
This receiver, Tez Walker, he just made himself a lot of money this week, too. Now I see why they were fighting so hard to get him back in that lineup.
Yeah.
He's silly.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like a first-round pick wide receiver.
Yep.
Yeah. Pitt beat Louisville, so that's a surprise after Louisville had knocked off Notre Dame, so that was weird. Oregon State beat UCLA. Yeah, Chip Kelly. You can't do nothing no more, Chip Kelly. Oh, sports science. Yeah, tell me all about it. Why you losing? Let's see. Utah beat Cal. Who cares? Duke's got a program.
Yep.
Duke beat NC State 24-3. Duke's got a program these days. How about that?
How about Duke and UNC?
Right?
In the top 15, 16?
That's going to be
Duke
a big
is 16
game.
now. Yeah, Duke
That's
is ranked
a big game
16.
this year.
All of a sudden, the ACC has a couple of new schools in there.
Jimbo Fisher does not win a lot for a guy who gets $800 million. Loses again at Tennessee. Arizona, I saw some stat about their defense. They're just 4-3, and they blew out Washington State. But, like, there's these Pac-12, like, crazy numbers of some of the offenses they've faced, and they've given up, like, the fewest points against these teams, so something's going right with Arizona, and they won big. Brian Kelly's kick Hugh Freeze butt. Hugh Freeze, that little devil. He ain't never gonna get his good name back. Never. You can go to Auburn all you like. Never. Brian Kelly.
Do you think they make shirts with unintelligible noises on them with just Brian Kelly?
I'd wear one. I'd wear one if they
Where's
did.
your boy Motram? Get him to make one.
Kansas was ranked. They never should be. They lose to Oklahoma State on the road, 39-32. So the I'm a man, I'm 50 now wins over KU. Missouri beat Kentucky 38-21. Kind of don't care. I'll get to the Terps after the break. Bram, what's the show? ESPN 630, Sports Capital. All right, let me talk about Maryland's loss to Illinois over the weekend. The more
I told
things,
you this. I've been telling you this for a month. You're counting them too early.
This is
You're gonna crown their ass, crown them. As Denny Green would say.
I said they'd get to 9 and they would lose the predictable games. Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State. They'd lose all of them.
I know.
Right?
I know what you're saying.
But they're going to win the rest because, one, they have the most experienced quarterback and a pretty good one. You know, probably not a pro quarterback, but a pretty good one. Sure. But an experienced quarterback. They do have good recruiting classes. And Loxley was pronouncing in the spring, we're ready to take a step and turn a corner. They played a bad Illinois team. Okay, at home on homecoming. They are off a loss to Ohio State where they totally fell apart, you know, in the second half. They were right there with them and then fell apart. This is typical of what happens with them. When I was shocked, when I got to Atlanta, it was on.
Yep.
So I got to watch it.
Yep.
They're down 24-21 in the fourth quarter. And let me tell you some of the things they did, which you're going to know where I'm going with this, and I just don't want to say it.
Yep.
Okay. With 4:13 to go in the game, down 3.
You took notes over there.
I did.
Oh, no.
With 4:13 to go in the game, they used a timeout. When Illinois was punting.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Yeah, don't know.
They didn't get a first down. They were punting to you. You used a timeout with 4:13 down 3.
Yep.
Now, maybe I'm crazy, but considering you're probably only going to get one more chance to go down the field, the most important thing is, well, go and try to win.
Right.
At worst, kick a field goal. But in either scenario, don't leave the other team any time.
That's right.
Which is why with 3:30 to go, after they had run the ball, that they ran a play with 34 seconds left on the play clock.
Uh-huh.
Is another, what are you doing?
Right.
Like, right. I get it, you're down, but is anybody staying calm? Chill out, honey bunny, because you guys are reinventing clock management in a way that I've never seen before. And I'm watching this in real time going, even if you score, you're going to give them the ball back now.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Now, and they don't seem to be very good. And so maybe that'll work out in your favor. It's kind of not unlike what the Jets did yesterday when the Eagles let them score on purpose. It was smart.
Yeah, right.
That's what a well-coached team does. They made a massive mistake, but they made up for it and gave their offense a chance to win the game anyway because the Jets were too stupid to realize what had just happened. Maryland coaching staff, what are you doing?
Right.
Why did you call a timeout on a punt with 4 minutes to go? Why did you run a play with 34 seconds on the play clock? Why would you do that? With 3.5 minutes, not with 1 minute left,
yep.
With 3.5 minutes left. Why would you do that?
Yep.
On 3rd and 6, okay, with whatever time is left, a couple of minutes, whatever it is, they ran the ball when they were basically at the very outer edge of their kicker's range. It was a 48-yard attempt, and they ran the ball in the center of the line, and they ran the kicker out there, and he was going to have to make a career-high field goal. Mm-hmm. They didn't take a shot to get more yardage than that.
Right.
They just centered the ball and set him out there, and they are so lucky he made it because he did. But they weren't doing any. One, don't you want to try? If you're on this edge right now, if you get the first down, the worst that's going to happen is you're closer, you kick a field goal, you end up in overtime at worst, but you get a new set of downs, and that team never touches the ball again.
Right.
So it is the third time in a 3-minute span that they don't understand time management whatsoever, and to settle for a career-long must-make field goal.
Yep.
Are you all crazy? Like, seriously, are you crazy? He made it.
Yep.
They gave Illinois the ball back, and what do you think happened? They walked down the field and scored. Now, granted, the quarterback made a throw he hadn't made apparently the entire game.
Sure.
And then on some third down play, he took off and ran, and they missed an assignment, and it gave them not a chip shot, but a close enough field goal that you knew what was going to happen. But Maryland, it's your fault. And I've seen this so many times with them. They're not buttoned up.
Correct.
They're just not.
Yep.
And it's fine. You play close games, right? That's fine. But if you're telling me you're going to turn a corner, then you can't be your own worst enemy. Mm-hmm. And it's fine. Illinois played really well, and we had a close game. You need to win that, but you also need to do it, quote unquote, the right way. And they did everything wrong.
Yep, exactly.
Everything.
Yep.
They deserved what they got. And that's why they're frustrating to me. Because just when I'm willing to give them just a glimmer of hope, they do things like that where it's not just, okay, we lost. It's you silver plattered a loss to a team that's not as good as you on your home field. Why would you do the things that you did?
That's what I tell you. You need to get on my train of believe it until you don't believe it until you see it. They're one of those teams that
it's frustrating when it's decision making that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It's listen, the game's the game, plays happen, mistakes happen, whatever. I live with that stuff. It's when you're your own worst enemy by making preposterous strategic decisions where I go, you guys are beating yourselves.
That's right. Yep.
You earned that loss because you don't understand clock management. You didn't understand situational football. You don't trust Talia on a 3rd and 6 to try to get a first down that at worst you'll end up tying them, or at least put all the pressure on Illinois' defense. Why would you give them the ball back there?
Right. Yeah.
At best in a tie game, and you're setting up your kicker to have to make a career-long field goal in the first place?
Mm-hmm.
Guys. Locks. Come on, man.
Guy can recruit, though.
Yes, he can. It doesn't matter when you make mistakes like this.
I agree.
It just doesn't.
I agree.
It's a bad loss.
I agree.
This is a bad loss. All right. The Capitals got smoked on their opening night to Pittsburgh. They get Calgary tonight. Is it going to be better, or is it too early to tell at this point?
Should be. I will say this on Friday night, and I don't think I said it too loudly, but I alluded to it. The Penguins getting a game in, then sitting for a few days and getting in that mindset, and then coming here, and the Caps being one of the last teams to start their season.
Yeah. Okay.
Kind of could have seen that one
buy that.
coming.
Okay, I'll buy that. I will buy that.
Because if you actually watched, the first period was really good for the Caps. High energy. They looked fast. They were moving the puck really nicely.
Yeah.
And then the second period rolled around, and Pittsburgh was just still in their game mode, and it looked like the Caps were not kind of ready to take that on for another 2 periods. And so they get another team tonight in Calgary that they should beat, and they do get Kemper back tonight, by the way. Lindgren got hurt in practice this morning. We don't know how serious that is. That could be bad. But you have your number one goaltender back, a team you should beat. You've got a game under your belt now. You had the weekend to settle out whatever you need to settle out in Pittsburgh. I expect their first win to be tonight.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
All right, let me get into, before we get to the break, Dallas and the Chargers tonight. Obviously, I'm rooting hard here for the Chargers because all of a sudden we could have the weekend of all weekends. We got to win and everyone else lost.
That's right.
That would be that's the rare double down. So let's see if we can get that tonight. If Dak plays the way he's been playing, I expect the Chargers to win. I do wonder. I mean, what happened to Herbert messed up his hand. It's not his throwing hand, and those guys get hits on people. So that'll be interesting to watch tonight if he can kind of make it through this. Chargers are weird. Every game they play is 31-30. It's just, I think this will probably come down to, does Dallas get a couple of turnovers tonight?
Right.
And if they don't, then I expect the Chargers to actually win at home. Both of these teams are unreliable, though. They're both very odd, and you kind of don't know what you're going to get week to week. But the unit that can flip it upside down really is Dallas's defense, even without Diggs. So if they get pressure on Herbert and they mess his hand up a little bit, hopefully it doesn't happen. But if they do, then I do expect Dallas to win tonight. But if they don't, and the pressure is handled here, I don't think Dak makes more plays than Herbert does, and I think the Chargers will probably win at home. And then I've got a rooting interest in that, obviously, because the division looks different tomorrow if they lose.
Yeah. I'll roll with the Cowboys here just because I feel like this happens with Dallas where the noise gets a little too loud when they have a couple of bad losses.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is one where they hear it, they react to it, they beat the Chargers in a close one just because the pressure finally gets to them to have a better performance.
Yeah. And I'll let you tell the baseball score, which, have you looked it up yet?
No. Let me, hold on, hit the old refresh
Just give me a preview. The Texas Rangers have played one home game so far in the playoffs. They haven't lost yet.
Yeah.
And it's looking like that is going to continue already today, streaking towards the Bryce versus Max situation in the World Series.
4-0, top of the first.
Yeah.
Here's the difference, though. This one's a 7-gamer, so you can't just kind of zap the Astros out of existence. And
Texas has not lost a playoff game yet, right?
Right, yes. But I'm just saying, the Astros out of any team, though.
Yeah, they're about to be 7-0 in the playoffs if this holds up.
Yeah, if this holds up.
That's pretty good.
But the Astros have been there so many times before, you cannot count them out yet.
I agree.
I think if this was any other team, I'm with you. They're going to streak towards the World Series. But the Astros are just one of those teams that don't go away.